don't stop. Where the brakes at? I give him that diddy bop. Like, take that, take that, take that, take that.
All right, we're here at Fast Training and Athlete Development in Suwanee, Georgia. And I'm Chris Bettis, owner of Fast, and I've got Corey Willig, one of our professional baseball instructors, with us today. And today we're going over the HitTrax system. And I know a lot of our clients kind of have heard about this HitTrax system and how great it is, but we're really going to kind of break it down for you and explain to you what it is, how it works, and how it can actually make your player better, whether it be a baseball or softball player. In this particular system, it's got a set of cameras that goes inside the cage, and when the player hits or pitches, it's basically tracking the ball in and tracking the ball out and giving us a host of analytics to basically break down each player. So we're looking at launch angle off the bat, we're looking at velocity, the speed of the ball off the bat, we're looking at distance hit, not only distance hit for power, but average distance hit, so we can kind of see consistently how far they're hitting the ball. Whether they're a line drive hitter, whether they're a fly ball hitter, all these different things we can kind of look at. For pitching, we can look at the late break of the ball. We can look at what type of pitch it is, how many strikes out of 50 pitches can he or she throw. So it just gives us everything that we really need to kind of get in and really see what that player is about, what kind of tendencies we have, good or bad tendencies, and how we can make them better. So we're just going to go over a few things here today. So one of the things you get with this is you get a profile. So every single time you get on the HitTrax system, you're going to get your stats updated. So you're going to have, say if you get on it 10 times, we're going to have 10 different sessions, and then it not only gives us every single analytic for that session, but it actually gives us a trending pattern. So if we're working on, say, getting more power or more speed with the ball, then over time we can actually see, are we actually doing that? And this helps our trainers really break down what kind of drills and skills each player needs, and it really just gives our trainers an aid as to how we can effectively help your child in each lesson. So we're just going to look at a random player today. We're going to go to some hitting sessions and just take a look. And this is what the screen looks like when the player's hitting. It basically mimics a full field. Now what it does is it breaks it down for age. So I believe this is a 10U player, and the field is scaled down to 244 bad. So go ahead, Corey, and take that.
This is actually one of my favorite charts because it gives the trainer the ability to see kind of the result of the hit. You can see from 0 to -30, that's going to be a ground ball. And you can see that's something that if you're a leadoff guy, okay, we'd want to see a little more of if you got some speed. And so, but if you want to be that line drive guy, where you're hitting the balls a little harder, you want to go 0 to 30. And we can see that correlation in the graph right here, okay? And if you're a fly ball hitter, if you're a leadoff guy hitting a lot of fly balls, you can visually see as the hitter that you don't want to be doing that. So we want to give you some drills, and this gives us the ability to see and break that down and give you those drills to hit line drives.
All right, so another one of the charts that we can go over is a spray chart. Now with the spray chart, the cool thing about this is when you're getting into a batting lesson, let's just say you hit, I'm just going to make up a number, say you hit 100 balls in a lesson. So of those 100 balls, we know where every single ball went. Not only do we know where every single ball went, but we know if that was a quality hit, meaning did you get on base or not. And then even past that, we actually have a video feed, high-speed video that will go with every swing. So we can actually take a look at a good swing and a bad swing based upon what the hit looked like. So this just kind of tells you that not only do you get a spray chart, but when the ball comes over the plate, it tracks it. So really for a player, this is really important because a lot of different players like a lot of different pitches. So sometimes, low and away, I'm not a really good low and away hitter, or I like them here or there. We can actually see where you're getting power off of each pitch. And then if you are struggling with a particular pitch, then that's something that we can also work on and say, okay, you're having a tough time hitting this particular pitch. Let's really work on that. So when you do see that ball, you're not afraid to go after it.
The big thing here is, as a hitter, consistency. So as a trainer, if we see you're trending upward, being more consistent, then that gives us a better feedback.
Yeah, so we could go into a lot of different charts here, but this kind of gives you an idea what you're looking at. One thing that we always get is the question is, okay, so we can bring our child in here, we can put them on this machine, we can go through all this stuff, get all this analytics and gather all this information, and what is that really doing for my player? Well, number one, most people are visual, and what that means is after they get through with their batting lesson, they want to be able to get visual feedback of themselves, and it's very hard to see what you're doing wrong when you're actually the one doing it. So what really helps with this is, number one is the video feedback. So when your child is, or your athlete is hitting in the cage, we have a video recording of every single swing, and then we can go back and break that down. Not only can we go back and break it down, we can see how your swing is changing over time, but then he or she can take that video home and look at it and say, okay, Coach Corey told me I'm doing this wrong, I really need to focus on that. And that's something that we could take, Corey, why don't you take 2 swings we want to look at real quick.
Looks good. It's good and bad.
Okay.
And right there. Okay.
Let's see. So here we go. So here we've got 2 swings, and we'll stop it here and bring them back, and we can sync them up, and then what we'll do is we'll bring them forward at the same time. So we can look at, say, if this was a good swing and this was a bad swing, or vice versa, we can now look and put them side by side and show the player, as well as the parent or the coach, what we need to do to improve. And we can stop at the point of impact and look at just kind of where he's at. The machine also has the ability for us to voice over and also annotate, draw on the screen as far as, where his leg is, where the ball is being impacted, all these different things. So we can actually draw and voice over this and then send it right to you. Again, documenting what needs to be done, how we can make the player better, and what they're doing, right or wrong, that we can kind of enforce those good and bad habits as far as that goes. Are they getting better? And what I like to say is, when kids can see that they're working towards a goal and actually can see visually that they're getting better, it gives them that reinforcement to know that the hard work that I'm putting in is actually working. So just besides the video, being able to go back and see where they're trending up, okay, now I'm hitting 5 miles an hour faster, now I'm hitting, 10 feet further, or now instead of pulling every shot here, I'm hitting it where I'm supposed to hit it.
I'm hitting the low pitch away. I'm working more on that too. Yeah.
So giving them that feedback is really huge. The next benefit is every player has a profile, and then this is a tool that can be used for college recruiting as well, because we can gather all this information here, fire off one email to a coach or multiple coaches, and they can see what that player is capable of doing just by looking at this information. And they can, and any good coach is going to be able to look at a swing visually, see the stats, and actually say, okay, is that a quality play or not, from that aspect, from the batting aspect, as well as the pitching aspect. I don't want to minimize the pitching portion of this too, because with a pitcher it's the same thing, average speed, average velocity, where the ball is covering the plate, the late break of the ball, all those different things. So now we can fire this profile off to coaches and different things like that. So that's a huge benefit to have. You kind of think of it as like Facebook for your player, because it's really cool to be able to go on Facebook and go back 3 years and see everything that you did. Well, this is the same kind of thing, and we can actually go see where we're going forward with using all this information here. So those are several different reasons why this is actually something that would benefit your player tremendously. Another thing that we get a lot of is we have teams that come in here and get on this, and a lot of coaches are interested, how can this make my team better? And again, going back to having those analytics, if you're a coach, you have to know what every single player does, what they do good, what they do bad. Where do I put them in the lineup? In certain situations, if I want to get a pinch hitter, which one do I use for that, and what situation, based upon what this person is capable of doing. So this really gives you so much insight into every single player that you have on your team, and where you should put them in the batting order, late in games, where should I put them? So it definitely helps the coaches dip into finding more out about their players from a hitting standpoint as well as a pitching standpoint. Again, going back to the pitching, they can come in here, put their pitchers on it, and get so much information about their pitchers. So this would just also help the player, but also help coaches be better. And we've gotten great feedback from the coaches that have come in here. They've come in here and put their whole entire team on it. Been, say 12, 13 players. When they finish, they get a big, nice folder that has all this information in, and they're able just to double click, go in and see all these different charts and all these different things. things we're going to go over is the entertainment portion. Now, you know, we all know what we talked about was for lessons, for actually getting the player better. But we also have so many tools that we can use from the entertainment side of things where we can have a lot of fun with them. One of the things that we do is called the quality hit game. Now, the quality hit game is really cool because, you know, we do have home run derby in here, we have long ball contests, we have full games that we can do in here as well, but one of the ones that we like to do for lessons especially is called the quality hit game. Now, the quality hit game basically takes into account ball velocity, launch angle, the result of the hit, all these different factors that it takes in, and it gives you a point total. So what we do is we put you on there and say, give you 15 different swings, and then you add up your points to get how many points can you get out of 15 swings. We find that that's a really fun game. It also gets them to think about quality hits versus trying to crush the ball. Putting one in play, getting on base with a proper velocity and launch angle and all that is super important. So this kind of hammers home that whole thing too. Going back to games and tournaments, we can play full games on this, and this is what we're going to be launching is our winter indoor league. And so now kids can come in here in teams of 4, a minimum of 4. You can put more on a team if you want, but this gives you the ability to come in here and compete against other kids your own age, live games. There's called balls and strikes. You know, when you hit, you might hit into a double play, you might hit a triple, you could hit a home run. It actually gives you all the different results. And not only that, but it tracks everything. So at the end of the game, you can actually get an email and actually know how you did in that game and how you performed, not only from an individual basis, but from a team basis. So
I was going to say, first time I walked in when he was using that, when we were using the entertainment system, if you're a true baseball or softball fan, a fan of the ballpark, you walk in and you really get that feel of being at a ballpark, and I got chills first time I heard it.